Well, good evening, YouTube, and welcome to another episode of the Albino Rhino Beer Review. Today we have this beer right here. So this beer's from Alberta, Canada, and it's funny because it has a German flag, but in the shape of the province of Alberta. This is from Brewery Fahr, or Fair, or I don't know how they're doing it. This is their copper. It says mild, elegant, and dry. 5% alcohol by volume. Now the funny thing about this, so uh, I bought this at the co-op, the new co-op liquor that opened up on, I don't know if that part of the street would be East Quant still, or if it would be Prince of Wales. But if you go down Victoria, between Victoria at the bridge, at the ring road, and Quants, there is lots of liquor stores. And co-op opened one too, because why not, right? Sobeys Liquor's there, the co-op liquor is now there, and you also have Urban Cellars. So they opened up, and this was there. And I don't know if they just looked at the German flag and didn't see the shape of the province of Alberta, but they had the Fahr beers. There was three. They had this, the Pilsner, and a Golden, and they had them in with the international beers. Priced like it was an international beer too. It was $22 for the 6-pack of small cans. So that hurts a little bit, man. That's almost $4 per can. But Alberta does, even though Alberta's supposed to be part of the Prairie Alliance for trade that was happening at one point, where there was less taxation on beers that were from BC, not BC, sorry, but Manitoba or Alberta coming here. We still pay a lot more for Albertan beers than you would in Alberta. But the fact that this was sitting there on the same shelf as like Daub and everything else kind of made me giggle, because I'm looking at that shelf going, that's not an international beer. Can't you see the province of Alberta on the but all their beers are apparently German style. It says it's a traditional German beer, strictly brewed in Alberta. So it even tells you on the can that it's not a German beer. It's an Albertan beer. Water, malt, hops, and yeast. Fahr copper. The first time I had ever heard of these guys, and they only had the three styles then, was when the Craft Tap was around, which was that company that would have that. It was basically an app that breweries would pay into, and you could go to them and order beer from all over the country from different breweries, the breweries that were working with it, and they would have that brewery shipped to you. So it was an interesting thing, and I wish they still existed. They were living in that gray zone, so I understand why they went away. But they were awesome to see around, and it was around right around well, it was happening during COVID, and I think that's why they got away with it for as long as they did. But that was the first time I had heard of these guys, and this is the first time I've actually seen one of their cans in the wild, so to speak. And I was excited, and I grabbed it. I almost didn't because of the price. Oh yeah, that's beautiful. Now I know that a copper beer will fall into like the amber slash red, and that is a beautiful amber color. Oh my lord. Dare I say that is the perfect hair color. You have this hair color and you want to sleep with Santa Claus? You let me know. No, I'm happily married, leave me alone. Slightly off-white head. Nice snap, crackle, pop. Oh, that color is beautiful. Fuck. That really is. don't know why. I don't know why. I really like that color. Like, really like that color. Wow. Wow. Okay. Scent from the can. Okay, so the can, a bit of molasses, a bit of biscuitiness. Molasses, biscuitiness, and red licorice. Smells pretty good out of the can. What has bit me? The only thing I had on my hand today was my gloves at work. Is there something living? Is there a mite or something living in my gloves? Like, what the hell? But this hand's fine. Everything is there in the glass that was in the can, but the red licorice is much more minute in the glass. But visually, that looks amazing. Visually, I even love the look of this this can, and visually, I love the look of this brewery's cans, because all three of them looked the exact same. Just the color of the stripe changed, and it said that I think there was gold for the gold, there was yellow for Pilsner, and then there was this for this, and they are pretty close. Are they the same, or are they just close? No, I would say they are fairly fucking similar. Now I want to go and buy another one and see if the SRM are this. You know, they would have bought the beer right from the brewery or from a they should have known that it wasn't a German beer. I think the German flag really messed with them. The German flag really messed with them. There was a brewery in Rockland, or right outside Rockland. I went with Dale the last time I was in Ottawa, and we did a bunch of reviews. And they were the same type of thing. They basically did all German style beers, and they did them really well. Brewery was somebody's last name, which I think is probably what Fahr is as well. But I can't off the top of my head remember it. I'll have to go look it up, but they were awesome. Cheers. Crusty bread, molasses, red licorice, and then an extremely dry finish. I shouldn't say extremely, just a dry finish. It finishes with a little bit of that crusty bread and then a neutral killing off of all the flavors, like the sweetness just ends. That's a very well made beer. It's superb, to be honest. It's what I want out of a copper. That is a great copper. Holy fuck. Am I still perturbed at paying over $20 for a 6-pack of mini cans? Yes, I am still perturbed at paying like $3.30. Would $3.30 be about right? No, like $3.55. $3.55. So probably just $3.50. Yeah, $3.50. $3.50 a can. Paying $3.50 a can. A little perturbed by that, but I do know that is where the price of beer is going. If this was 6 or so years ago, and this was like $1.75 to $2.25 a can, I'd be fucking gung ho. I think it's over $3 a can right now. That hurts a little bit, and I don't know what they cost at the brewery, but I do know on average from talking to Dan about what things cost in Calgary from Calgary brewers, that Saskatchewan seems to put almost a $10 surcharge on their beers from Alberta. Like a 12-pack he would buy at the brewery there for X amount of dollars. Whatever he's paying, I'm paying between $10 and $15 more for the same 12-pack. 4 packs, I'm paying about $8 more for the same 4-packs. So if this was in that $15 range in Alberta, I would buy that all day, every day. Even if it was just $3 a can, if it was an $18 6-pack, I'd probably buy it as my 6-pack to drink. I probably would. Let's be real. That's how easy it is to drink. Like, that's a solid beer. That's a great beer. That's a beer I will probably buy again, even with the price being higher. I'd probably buy that again. Just wouldn't buy it as often because, hey, I'm cheap. I really am. Visually, I loved the beer. Visually, I loved the beer, and visually, I loved the can. Scent, I liked both quite a bit. Flavor, I really did like this beer. Oh yeah, that licorice flavor's in there too. Just like you smelt it, it's everything you smelt is what you taste, and then it's dry. I'm really digging this, and I think the next time I go to, we get points for co-op. If we shop at co-op and stuff like that, we get points, and then you get paid dividends at the end of the year. Like all we bought over the year at the co-op for this year that we've been here is my wife's drugs, some ribs, and our gas, and we ended up getting like a $280 check in dividends. So we're going to start shopping more predominantly at the co-op for my beer, other than like at the superstore, because I go to the superstore to get my cheap drinking beers, like my $34 24-pack of No Name Light, and I can't beat that price. So that's where I get my majority of my drinking beers. But I think a lot of my review beers are going to start coming from the co-ops, and Urban Cellars will be what I sprinkle in there. I'm not going into Sobeys anymore because Sobeys is too expensive for what I'm getting out of it. That being said, you get to get your dividends on the alcohol as well. So I'm excited to say, hey, let's see how much dividends we can get by the end of next year. No, I don't want to see. I don't want to change. I'm just rambling. So let's just give it a mark. I'd give this an 8 out of 10. This is a solid beer. I would buy this beer again. I will definitely buy this beer again. But now I want to buy the Pilsner next and see how the Pilsner is, because stylistically this is almost perfect, and I'm hoping their Pilsner is the same. I don't think I'd spend the money on the Golden, but I would be curious about the Pilsner, because if the Pilsner is like this, where it is exactly what it really should be, I could see myself throw back the entire 6-pack of Pilsner. I'll be pissed off at the end of that because I spent that money on the Pilsner. But it'll be fun while it lasted, right? Yeah, it will. Anyway, guys, thank you very much. Have a lovely evening. Au revoir. Au bientôt. See you soon. Bye-bye. Mwah. Yeah, I gotta get up and turn you off now, eh? Well, let's be honest, just looking at me turns you off. Right? Right, it turns me off. Looking in the mirror, I'm like, how did the women that slept with me do it? Because I have a laundry list, man. How did they do it? And there's several that did it more than once. Like, it wasn't just a pity fuck. Or maybe it was a bunch. Maybe it was lots of pity fucks. Maybe that's what it was. That one over there, it's like 1 or 2 times a day. How much pity do I get? Oh. Oh. Okay, I gotta go. Bye.